Sorry, information.
Yeah, I'm just a little confused here because there was a series of proposals for the direct action suggested, and then there was a question about the immediate direct action. Are they being blended here? Because I have a suggestion. Okay. The thing I've seen on the news and listened on the radio and such is that the direct action movements are over in Canada, except for the one out in the East Coast. This is the constant message from commercial media, is that it's all done, it's all wrapped up, it's a weird thing that happened and now it's finished. And I think perhaps the first thing that Occupied Peterborough can do is to say, that's wrong, it exists, there's thousands of Occupy movements around the world, we're participating, and it's still going on, and here's what we're doing. Just that in and of itself, and then as part of that, announce, here are some of the things coming up soon, and then list the things we talk about here today.
Because it seems like we have the Occupy talk on February 1st, which we can discuss, and that'd be a great platform, possibly for announcing this. Odds are there will be media at the event, we can have promotions and whatnot for things going on. And then there's next Wednesday, there's this PCBS opportunity to show up and be bodies and represent a local issue on education. And then there's also the February 1st National Day of Action on Education, which will possibly create inroads to so many different communities and just show Peterborough that we care about education in Peterborough as an Occupy.
So, thank you, Joe, for that. That would suggest that the immediate action is in 3 parts.
Yeah.
And February 1st is just around the corner.
Yeah.
I do have a question, though. Now that the Direct Action Group has got this going, what will our role be as Direct Action Committee?
What is the role of direct action?
Yeah, we've precipitated the discussion. It seemed like a decision is just ready to be made here. What should Direct Action do now?
Propose.
Which we've done.
If we do that, coordinate the outreach, coordinate the communication.
Sure. I would say in the most vague terms possible, but challenge the structures and institutions that privilege the 1%. Everything that direct action is bringing up the 1% and the systems that make the 1% stronger, richer, and wealthier. So if that is quarterly leaflet pages handing out at the bus terminal, or if that is any action, that's direct action. I think that's important for that.
Seems to me it's the logistics committee. I was going to say the direct action committee is mainly the logistics committee. It's if we decide to do something, or part of Occupy decides to do an action or to be at a protest, the direct action committee seems the appropriate place for who would be planning it and making sure it happens.
I like that.
Implementation in addition to proposals.
I think just unbundling these 3 for a moment, we pretty well have to plan the Wednesday one now.
Yeah.
And the other ones can be done at the next General Assembly.
Okay. That sounds fair. Okay. So limiting your proposal now to Wednesday and the day of action. Okay.
I was wondering if it'd be possible, once this thing happens on Wednesday, is it possible for someone from the committee to come in on Thursday evening? We do a radio show into radio to talk about them. Is that too specific?
That's interesting.
Just in terms of thinking about the follow-up too.
Maybe the outreach committee could provide that.
So part of this could be passed
What's
on.
happening Wednesday?
There's a PCBS, a facilitator's coming from the Ministry of Education. She's here today, and she's meeting with groups on the art committee, which help decide. Mark can speak more to this possibly.
You want me to speak to it?
Yeah.
So, the PCBS campaign successfully applied for a review. The facilitator was appointed. She actually arrives Monday. She's meeting with the committee members who did the ARC process, which is a big team of 30-some people, on Monday. She's meeting with 12 PCBS proponents on Tuesday, the people who asked for the review.
What time is
And
that?
there's a public meeting, and this is the one you care about. The public meeting is on Wednesday at 7 p.m. at the Evinrude Center. So those are the first 3 steps that this facilitator is going to go through, and she will deliver a report within a month. She may have to have other meetings, but the first 3 steps are those. And the third one on Wednesday evening at the Evinrude Center is public. And we're talking about that as a possible direct action.
Okay.
No, I'm just curious, you look around Peterborough, there's a ton of those save PCVS signs on people's front lawns. I know a lot of people probably wouldn't be comfortable knocking on someone's door, but I wouldn't really have a problem with, hitting 30 houses, have a save PCVS sign on, say, if you really want, really behind us, come down to the Evinrude Center on Wednesday at 7 o'clock.
I would suggest that 400 or so people who have a sign may well be there. But,
You don't think okay.
but I would like thousands. The facilitator needs to look out on the landscape and go, wow, we couldn't fit everybody in. It could be a 20-minute action.
Okay, so hand up.
Is it possible for the organization to canvass the neighborhood of PCVS? One of the concerns, because I live across the street from it, and one of the concerns I've heard from a number of my neighbors is, oh yeah, I read about this in the newspaper. I heard about this after the fact in the newspaper. I wish someone would have come and told me or dropped a flyer in my mailbox so I knew I'm a block away. So.
I don't know this issue well, TBS, I don't probably be bad idea to close it, but is there an occupied message in this? Is there a corporate greedy 1% that's trying to profit out of this situation here, or trying to understand?
So I would think that ultimately this goes back to the funding formula at the Ministry of Education, which is probably driven by keeping the cost of education low, which is probably driven by the 1%.
Very soon I'm going to look for some feedback from the group, from the GA, as to what the direction is the group is going to take. When I hear people around the group talking, there are people with their individual challenges, their small group challenges. The PCVS has a very clear, we want to save the school. The Occupy movement is a collection of a whole host of different challenges. The challenge that I have seen in attending City Hall and attending, trying to make a difference in the community is it falls outside of just one group's resources, ability, jurisdiction, and it is only when the collective of the whole community is going to get behind solving some of the problems. So what I'm seeing Occupy, or the movement that needs to occur, is the unifying of the various elements, the setting of a new standard, the setting of new ways of doing things, new technology, new relationships that work. So at a certain point I'm going, are we just going to put the fist up and fight and try to bring some kind of attention, or are we going to go and say we've got a solution here? Because I see us getting a media company, radio, print, the whole bit. So I see going in a very business-driven direction, but at a standard that is new in the marketplace.
I would say those are very large considerations that are long-term projects we have to think over a lot, and I'm looking at the clock, we're about 45 minutes and about 5 proposals away. I would suggest, we need to have a lot of discussions like that.
Please table that.
We can definitely table it.
It's a dividing point right now.
It's the kind of thing that we also need to talk a lot about in our separate committees and stuff, that we need to talk informally. Maybe I should just mention this now, since we're on the topic of it, but we've also thought that Food Not Bombs at 6:30 on Monday nights is also, because we're only meeting once a week, it's also a good place to know that people from Occupy should be trying to go to that just as an informal meeting so that we have another chance during the week to talk and it's not just once a week.
Let's bring it, okay, there's a lot going on, so let's bring it back to the actual proposals so we can see where we're at. So it seems like there's a couple different parts, one of them of which is next Wednesday. And the possibility of, with what resources we have, start to get like a presence there for Occupy Peterborough in support of, say, PCBS. Mark, would you be interested in taking the lead on like, making a Facebook event for this for Occupy Peterborough, and so that we can invite people to the Occupy Peterborough, say, PCBS, or like in support of? Sure. Okay, so in that sense, it would be, okay.
And I think we need to define the link.
You got it that's exactly what I'd like to see. And just a really clear, blunt statement about this is why this is an Occupy issue.
And would you be comfortable being like making a precise statement of that kind?
I mean, people could, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I've got lots of thinking about that. I guess I would like to temperature check it to make sure I'm on base with this community feeling is why it's an Occupy issue. And do we do that right now? I guess we have to if we want to do it.
Could I recommend that the issue be democracy and almost contempt of democracy? Which is one of the reasons why we have this, whatever she's called, coming down here.
Yeah, there's certainly that there.
I would look at public service cuts, because I think it's a really easy one. It's like when we have a provincial government that's saying, we're trimming the fat, this is the consequences of trimming the fat. All those corporate income tax cuts that we've been given for the last 8 years are having to come with public service cuts, and these are the consequences.
Well, and I think you can also look at it about sustainable communities and building densification and keeping your downtown healthy. I think there are lots and lots of layers that you can sort of say, wow, that Occupy issue is in PCBS, and so is that, and so is that. So that's kind of the linkage, right? So maybe what I do is make the Facebook event and put some of those initial starting points up, and maybe within the Facebook event, we can each individually chip in and say, here's my linkage. So we'll make that part of the Facebook event. Okay, so the other thing I would say is, well, what's the physical action for that direct action? And I would really just envision, sign up for speakers starts at 6:15, the meeting starts at 7. I think if a sign and some drums and some people banding together, maybe you put a tent up just to make some fun of it. You know, just to go, oh, a tent, it must be occupied.
Outreach will also try to advertise it too,
Okay.
as much as we're able.
So let's make this part a proposal to work on this for Wednesday through individuals who are interested in it, outreach committee, direct action committee, and the GA can maybe give them consent to work towards this. Would that be the proposal? All right, so I'd like to put that forward to the GA then. You have a point?
Because of our presence, Occupy Peterborough is very important. Do we have the banner?
We have a
What
banner.
the banner is?
It's out front on the street.
Pardon?
It's out front on the street.
Yeah, that's that
Is
right
it?
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Somebody has to look after it for Wednesday. Okay, good, thanks.
So let's put that maybe the proposal, consent from this GA for the individuals to pursue this event as an Occupy and solidarity event. So putting that forward for consensus. Okay.
So Wednesday, there's two things going on?
Sorry,
Two things
Wednesdays,
going on?
this will be clarified. Wednesday, there's one thing going on, and
Yeah.
it's at 7 o'clock at the Edinburgh Center.
Okay.
And more information will be provided through email and Facebook and through
Okay.
emails. All right, cool. So we've reached consensus, and we're going to have our first direct action in the light of Peterborough. That's pretty cool.